Hi there YouTube, XtremeTrainz here. So, yep, you guessed it, it's Minis time once again. And for the final time in 2018, or at least as far as I can expect, we'll be taking a look at Wave 4 of 2018 of the Thomas & Friends Blind Bag Minis. As you can see, I've got in front of me all the new characters for this wave. Again, if you want to see reviews of the old repeat characters, you can find all my Minis reviews on my YouTube channel, so go back and take a look at those. So, what are we waiting for? Let's do the packet because it's the same packet we've had all year. It just has 4 of 2018 on there. This I showed in the Wave 3 review and it's the same thing as we had before. Yep, amazing, sweet, good. Okay, glad we get that out of the way. Now, let's talk engines. The first engine is the Special Edition Thomas. Now, I'm happy to report this is nowhere near as difficult to find as the flocked Thomas from the Wave 2, I believe. And that is a good thing, because I think Special Edition engines should be not that hard to find. In fact, in the case that I found of this, I actually got all these in one go, except for Fruit Millie, because I think she's packed at the front of the box. So if you're just a casual person and you pick one up, the first one you'll pick up is Millie. Thomas is actually, there's actually 2 Thomases per case. So in those boxes that they minis come in, display box things, there are actually 2 of these Thomases, which thank goodness, because it means you can actually pick them up. Now, interestingly, this Thomas looked really, really cool on the online when I saw photos of it, and I also think it looks really nice on here. But the problem is, I think the final model is a little bit of a letdown. Now, why is that? Because even though we've got that cool Thomas face, and we have a really nice printed map all across his body, although, rest in pieces, where is Australia? No one knows. It should, I think, be here. Yes, Australia should kind of be down here, but it's not, because there's no printing on the back of minis. It's a little bit too dark of a blue, I think. You can see that this blue, the translucent blue they use for the body, is a darker shade than the blue they use for the running board. And I think they should have used this blue instead of this one, because it lets more light through. I think the problem is that although it is transparent, you can see through it, it would have looked like a much cooler water effect, which is what you've got here when it's all the same color blue, whereas for whatever reason, they changed it to be a darker blue on the final model, which I think is a bit disappointing. It just doesn't quite have the same punch that it could, because you don't quite get the silhouette showing through as nicely. However, I do appreciate the green and brown wheels, like obviously green, and brown for the colors of the, nature on like Google Maps, for example. I think this is quite nice. I think what would have made this better is, considering there's Big World Big Adventures this year, they could have tied it into that by maybe having like, little crosses and like a dotted line, like a map of where he's been. I think that would have been really, really cool. Or, here's something which, if this happens next year, then you can say that I thought of it first. Doing a whole series of map-related engines. I think that would be amazing. You could get, countries, you could do cities. As the train fan inside of me says, you could do like metro maps, like, have the tube on one, have a tube map on Thomas, and then, on an American prototype engine, you could have, like Porter maybe has like the New York subway map on him. I think that's a really cool idea, because I love maps. I think they're really cool. I think this is a cool idea, but the execution isn't quite as good as it looked in the promo photos. That said though, it's still a very nice mini, and I think it's a very nice Thomas mini as well. Just not my favorite. I think it's my least favorite Special Edition Thomas mini. The next one we've got is Neon Paint Splatter. They're being consistent with what they're calling it, Hero, and he's good. I do like the neon ones. I've said the whole time I like the neon ones from the first wave of minis back in the first year of them, and I really like this paint splatter one too. I think it looks like he's been splattered with paint. It looks quite realistic. It contrasts really nicely with the black. The yellow running board is a really good choice, makes him pop. I like the wheel colors as well. Yep, this is a nice one. I enjoy this one a lot. Good. That is a good one. Now, this next one took me quite a while to work out which theme it belonged to. And it's actually Back to School James, and he's meant to be a red crayon, which now I understand, but at the time I was a bit like, what is going on here? Interestingly enough, he's actually got red printing over red plastic. So you can see the red plastic is here, and there's a slightly different, it's better on the tender actually. You can see how there's that line. That is red plastic, and that is red printing on red plastic. So I'm not sure exactly why they did that. I assume because it's meant to be the papery wrapper bit around the crayon, in which case, like, incredible attention to detail. Quite unnecessary, really. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I think it's, again, it's one of those cool ones where I think they've stuck with similar enough but different enough so you do notice it. I think the main thing is that, again, I think a really cool way to do this, rather than having this as back to school, would be to do like a crayons theme and get a lot of different engines with this similar kind of design where they're almost all one color except for maybe the running board. I think that would be a cool theme for minis, and I think that this is nice, but by himself, I don't think he fits in to the back to school theme very well. But again, as an individual mini, I think it's a cool idea. Next we get Fruit Millie, who, as I mentioned earlier, I had to pick up by herself. She had already been taken from the box that I found the rest of these minis in, and like the other fruit ones, I think she is quite fun. I do enjoy it. Again, you've got the red printing over the red plastic, which is a really interesting choice. I don't know why they keep doing that, but anyway, you know, it's nice. It looks like watermelon. Love the green. Love the different greens too. You've got like a bright green, a kind of lime green, and the translucent green for the wheels. Yeah, it's all really nice. This one is, yes, again, the fruit theme I think has been really fun, and it's a good one for this year. Happy to have it. The next two are the last two monkey engines. This is Monkey Spencer. I think he's alright. As I said before, I think the monkey theme was a little bit weird. This one is no exception. It is weird. I get they were kind of going for, like, I think a gorilla Spencer or something. Like, the detailing is nice, but it's just not quite my cup of tea. So, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's okay. The next one is, yes, Monkey Flynn. I think this one is interesting, especially where they did his face with the ears. And, you know, the kind of, like, the fluffy bits where his wheel covers are. But again, you know, he's just, it is a bit weird. It's weird. This one's definitely weird. I don't really know what else I can say except weird. And that's kind of what I said about the whole monkey theme. So again, if you liked it, you like it. If you don't, you probably won't. Alright, then going next onto the, I believe this is kind of the fantasy one. The names are different depending which source you look at. Fantasy is what it says in the booklet. This is nice. I actually quite like this. I believe it's meant to be like a Bigfoot Diesel 10 or something. But I think that they've done a nice job with the face. Like, he's got pink cheeks there, and the blue and the white all printed on his face is really, really nice. That fur detailing is nice. It almost looks a bit like snow. I love the wheels. I think they have glitter in them. Or at least it looks like they do. Yes, I think they're like light blue wheels with glitter in them, and that looks awesome. I want to see more of that, because that looks really, really nice. I'm a big fan. Yeah, this is a nice looking mini. I think, again, the theme is a bit weird, but this one is just, you look at it and you're like, wow, what is that? This is just wild, and I think this is a nice one. Then the last three for this wave are the Camouflage. So, this is Camouflage Bertie. I think I talked about how I think Bertie is a weird character to have in minis, but again, like, his top is the top part is very nicely detailed. This is cool. I like it. It reminds me of the monochrome series they did in the very first year of minis, and I like that a lot. I think this is really cool too. I love this pattern. It's kind of looks a bit like pixels, like, you know, pixels on a computer screen, something, and I think that's really cool. So, yeah, I like this one. I like it. I think it matches the camouflage theme, and also just, again, looks cool by itself. The next Camouflage is Camouflage Victor. He's interesting. It's funny because this is probably the most standard camouflage of them all. Because, you know, he's got that camo green with the brown and the yellow, but I actually just think he looks a bit weird, and I think it's the red. I think the red throws it out. Either the red or the yellow throws it out. I think this bit and the wheels are nice, but something about this Victor just doesn't quite gel with me as well as the other ones did. So, yeah, I don't know why that is, but he's just not quite doing it for me. But again, you know, I can't fault the detailing. It's very, very nice. Lastly, for 2018 blind bag minis, we have Camouflage Rosie. Now, interestingly, they did Rosie and Belle in the Camouflage series. I actually thought I'd already reviewed her, but I hadn't. And it's actually quite nice. I really like this one. It's, again, they've done a cool thing, and they've gone the pink, but they've, like, given us a couple of different colors. So, you know, her wheels are a different kind of pink. It's a light pink and a dark pink, and then you got the dark and light pink on the body with the printing is really nice. The only unfortunate thing about this Rosie is, as you can see, I got one that was not assembled correctly. You can see that this cup, it's like there's a gap there, and she's like kind of coming apart at the back. I don't really know if I can fix that. I kind of tried to fiddle around with it. I think it also means her wheels might be in the wrong place. I'm not really sure, but yes, I got a defective one, but for my purposes, it's fine. I just don't know if that means she's gonna, like, spontaneously fall apart on me. But anyway, that's okay. the actual engine is quite nice, and I do like the design. So as standard in my minis reviews, you can kind of see the minis I think are nice are on this side, and the 3 that didn't quite get to me are on that side. That said, I think overall this is a satisfying conclusion to 2018 minis, and definitely has some nice ones if you want to complete your little mini theme sets. I think there are some opportunities here for Mattel to, you know, going forward, create themes that I think would be a little bit cooler than monkey theme, for example. I think Countries of the World, for example, would particularly tie in very well with the Big World, Big Adventures theme that has been happening in this year's Thomas & Friends World, and I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity that they haven't quite capitalized on that, and also that we haven't really had any more Classics International engines released. Like, you know, we haven't got Ashima, and we haven't got Rebecca and Nia, and the one in China whose name forgets me right at this time, but that is okay. So I think there's opportunities to introduce a lot of new minis characters, and then obviously do the repaints of them as well, which I think would be quite cool. So hopefully that's what we get a bit of next year. Otherwise, this is going to be one of the last reviews I do for minis in this year, as far as I know, although I have done something different, and I actually purchased a minis stun set, which after my experience with the first 2, as you guys would know, I really wasn't that impressed with their longevity of playtime, which is why I haven't picked up the Boost and Blast stun set, because for the $50 it retails in Australia, I can't justify it for the one mini, which really is the only thing I want to collect. So, I will be taking a look at that very shortly. It is on its way. I've also got some new Thomas Wood stuff on the way, which I found on Amazon US, which I got imported. And, as everyone is excitedly saying, I have purchased the Diapet Hero and Bertie, and they are also in the post on their way to me. So, coming in the near future, there'll be reviews of those. I also bought some other Japanese Thomas stuff. So, there'll be plenty more Thomas stuff coming on my channel, which is super duper exciting. Can't wait to bring it all to you. But otherwise, as this is a video about minis, let me know your thoughts on these minis. If you have feelings about minis going forward, I love to hear all your comments. I really do appreciate you writing them, and I enjoy reading them. So yeah, I'm glad that there are people watching my videos, because that's what I make them for you guys. So, alright, as always, thanks for watching. That's all we've got time for. This is XtremeTrainz.